All right, welcome everybody. We're going to do a little bit of commentary for you for this match between Cheer for Beer and Slated for Glory. If you're just joining us now, this is the APA Chinook 8-Ball Invitational 2024. We're in Lincoln City, Oregon at the Chinook Winds Casino and Resort, and we're watching day one of teams event for this. And so we've got quite a few teams that entered. These are two great teams here that are on our EvoSports live stream table, and this is the first match of this team event right here. Chris Beverly, skill level 6, is competing against Hung Ho, also known as Chris Ho. So we will refer to him as Chris Ho, because I think that's what he prefers. And he has a skill level 7. So Chris Ho needs to go to 5, and Chris Beverly needs to go to 4 in this match. And I have a co-commentator here. Vanny is in the booth with me. Welcome, Vanny.
Thank you, Patrick.
Yeah, thanks for keeping me company. It's always a pleasure to have you. And so this is Chris Beverly at the table right now, taking on a nice combo on that 2-ball, and he's not going to really be happy with the shape that he got on this ball.
Tony and the Tigers. Mike Mitchell, Tony Wheel.
It's a little bit of he's in a little bit of a stuck position here.
This is actually your third call to table 20. Give this next one a little bit.
And he's really thinking about what to do here. He does have the option to just hit this 5-ball all the way down to the rail with the cue ball, and this could drive the cue ball right into this area right here. And what that does is it protects the shot. It's a nice safety because the 6-ball will be there to stop your cue ball, and you won't be giving any leave on the 13 here, because the 8 will be blocking, and he will only have a bank on the 10. So it's not a bad shot if he sees it to go for it. But also the draw shot. Oh, you got to watch that, though. He didn't want to come back and hit that 13. So he was trying to draw the cue ball because the 13 was up here on the rail. That wouldn't have, given his opponent any shot at all. But you got to remember where that ball is going to go that you're hitting. It's going to sail around the table, and you got to know where it's going to go. So Chris Ho at the table, skill level 7, is going to try to take down these last few balls. And a skill level 7 is the highest that they go in APA. So it does have a pretty broad range. From what I understand, there's low 7s and there's mid 7s and then there's super 7s, right? So I'm learning as I go the sort of the APA lingo. Because you could be a 7 and be like an almost pro level player, or just kind of an amateur player that's just sort of a little above average, right? So it has a pretty wide range. So we'll find out in a little bit what level Chris is at. I feel like I'm a pretty good judge of looking at their shot selection and their stroke, and these things will kind of give away their exact speed. We'll find out here. And I like it when the players have their names on their jerseys, right?
I kind of did too.
Doesn't that make it so much easier?
So much easier.
Right. Chris Ho, if you were wondering, is the player with Chris Ho written on the back of his jersey. So making it easy for us. This is not a requirement to have in jerseys, but it is helpful. That was a very smart shot, except he did not get away with it. I like the idea. I think his idea was really to try to get that cue ball somewhere in this window here so that the 8 was blocking. And it just rolled out a little too far, and he's given up an opportunity on this 6-ball. But the pitfall to avoid here is if you play this 6 in the side, the tangent line takes the cue ball right to the side, that pocket down there. So you have to be very careful to avoid that scratch. And he did it very nicely. So he had to hit kind of a fuller piece of that ball to slow down that cue ball and kind of change the angle a little bit. Because if he hit too thin on that 6, that cue ball is going to go right to the corner pocket and scratch. So great shot from Chris Beverly there. Now I'm going to take a look at the YouTube and see how many watchers we have here. Oh no, missing that 5 ball.
Who do we have tuning in? Anyone? Any?
Looks like just a handful of people in the as far as viewers go. Kian Mogari, happy to have sound and commentary. We are not doing commentary for all of the matches. We're just kind of popping in here and there where it's available. Okay, so getting a little bit of coaching session here, deciding what to do. This is kind of a critical moment in the rack. And these are the kind of shots that where the rack is either won or lost on this shot. Because if he doesn't pocket this ball, or if he leaves a shot on the 5 ball, there we go. That's a good shot. And the only thing he's really going to leave here is this one rail. And do you remember that mirror system that we were talking about yesterday?
Yes, I do.
Vanny? So that's sometimes people use that, but sometimes they will just measure the distance between these 2 balls and go exactly halfway.
Oh,
right? If the one
I
is
see.
this, if the one is the same distance away from the rail here as the 5, then you can just say, okay, I'm going to take this line and look at what is the halfway mark.
Halfway mark, okay.
Right? And then you go across from that halfway mark to the other side of the table, and that's kind of where you want to aim to get you to that spot. So that's another way of doing it, right? But that really only works if they're in the same distance from the rail when you're starting. So very important kick shot. And now, ideally, he actually wants to come a little bit lower because he wants to go 2 rails into this. And do you know why he would want to go 2 rails into this ball, Vanny?
No, I do not.
Because if you go 2 rails into this ball, it's going to bring the cue ball up this way and give you an opportunity to have a nice, easy 8 ball afterwards. If you go straight into the 5, you don't really get a good leave on the 8 afterwards.
Oh, I see.
So you want to hit that second rail just right in here. And that's the other reason that you want to go 2 rails.
Yeah, you don't want to. I had a feeling it would scratch. I mean, if it didn't do the 2 rail.
But if you hit the second rail, you do not scratch.
I see.
Right? It takes away that possibility of following in the ball. So always want to, on those kind of shots, you always want to try to aim a little bit lower so that you can catch that second rail. It makes the shot actually easier.
I was going to ask you, where on the cue should someone be like aiming?
That one, just center cue ball. You don't really need to use any kind of English or anything. As long as you have a clear path there, that nothing's in the way, you don't need to use any English, and you don't want to, because that's going to really make it a lot harder. So, boy, Chris getting rewarded for a good safety. Chris Ho, that is. Skill level 7, ties it up. 1-1. These guys are just having a good time. Good sports all around. I like to see that. I like to see teams, opponents applauding each other's good play. And we've seen a lot of that here at this APA event. Just a very, very respectful group of people, good sportsmanship all around. And I know that they really talk about that, and they pride themselves on good sportsmanship. That's what this is all about. We're here for friendly competition.
Yes. Everyone always reminds you, are you having fun? That's the most important thing. I know
That's right. Because this is a poolcation for most of us, right?
Yes, it is.
And on a vacation, you want to have fun. Otherwise, you're doing something wrong. Oh, we've got. Oh, look at that! We've jumped up to 12 people. We went from 4 to we tripled the number of members in the of viewers here. So who all's out there in the chat? Let us know who you're rooting for. Let us know where you are. Say hello to us. We're just sitting over here with microphones in our face, right?
Yes.
We want to talk. We want to talk to the people in the chat room. Let's light up that chat.
Yeah, but please let us know who you're rooting for. Or...
So, Vanny, you did not sign up for teams, right? You're actually heading home today.
Yes, I'm heading home today.
Your poolcation is coming to an end.
I know, sadly. I'm
Okay.
trying to get as much beach time before we leave.
Oh, but then you came in here to sit with me.
That's
I'm
okay.
interrupting your beach time.
It's good to get a little bit of fresh air and come back in. And
Right. Well, I'm jealous. I would like some beach time. It's a nice day out there. I went outside. It's nice and sunny.
it's warm too because it's
Oh.
been cold the last 2 days.
Oh,
You definitely need to have some beach and me time soon.
yes, I do. I do. Okay, so back to the action here.
Left it. Ball better. Thanks, Paul.
Cheer for beer and slated for glory. The two teams that are duking it out here on table number 7. Okay, so what do we have here? So I think he's eyeing up that 9 ball. He's checking to see if he's got enough room on that 9 to get past the 1. I do believe he does. But it's just a matter of what are you going to have afterwards, right? I mean, you could try to put a stop on the cue ball and just hold the cue ball right there and maybe play this 10 ball afterwards in the bottom right corner. But I think you definitely want to put low English. You want to either draw or just stop this cue ball, but you got to be careful that you don't get stuck behind the 1 ball. So he rolls forward, and that's gonna make his next shot a little bit harder. He didn't really have the angle to be able to roll to the other side of that 11, right? So I think his only option there was to draw back or just stop the cue ball and try to hold it. So now he's faced with the only shot he has, I think, is the 10 ball in the corner, and it doesn't really look like it has the whole pocket. So he's not even going to look at that. It looks like he might be playing a safety here. Probably intending to bring that out a little bit more so that it's blocking the pocket here. I think that might have been his intention on that 11 ball there. So, but no worries. He did leave the cue ball on the bottom rail. And that was his goal there, is just to not give up an easy shot. And good shot from Chris Ho. Taking that long distance shot on the 4 ball. And he's checking to see if he has enough room past the 5 to be able to pocket this 3 ball. And it looks pretty close. He doesn't like it. He's starting to look at other options. He's looking around. He says,
what about the 2?
Yeah, let's go with the 2 ball. And this shot as a combo is not that bad, right? If you can come back to this later and play this combo, it's not that bad of a shot. You got to get those in. Oh, well, he messed up my combo. He totally messed up my combo. So rearrange the furniture. Time to change the game plan. That's the thing about 8 ball. 8 ball, you have to have you have to be able to change your plans, because you can make the plan to have like, okay, these are going to be my next 3 shots or whatever. But after your first shot, you get out of position. So you have to stop and say, okay, now what's my plan?
That's
And
true.
you don't get married to a specific,
Yeah.
group of shots. When you start getting out of line, okay, step back and make a new plan. And you have to be able to continue to do that in 8-ball. Very important. So Chris Beverly here just playing a simple shot here just to keep Chris Ho a little bit off balance. He wants to not really give him any opportunities. I'll tell you what I like here. I like hitting this 5-ball into the 12.
Hi, Karen.
Hitting the 5 into the 12, and then the 12 goes to the rail, and you can leave the cue ball right where the 5 is right now. And it's a good safety. Oh, I didn't see that he had
Oh, I
that
didn't
6
see it.
ball. So
Yeah,
that was a good opportunity for offense. However, if you're not going to get out of the rack, you have to know how it's going to work out. So, okay, looks like Keon Mulgari, located in Washington, rooting for Beverly, used to play together. All right. Which pool hall did you guys, or which bar do you guys play out of? I'm also from Washington. I live in Kitsap County, over in Poulsbo. If anybody out there knows where that is. Small little Norwegian town west of Seattle, across the water.
By the way, Jordy, you did safe way short ball.
Okay. Chris Beverly with a cut on this 15 ball, or the 11 ball down there. He might have gotten a favorable nudge on that 10. So he bumped the 10 and he just went to look to see if it plays down here, but it doesn't. It's blocked by the 5, as you can see.
I asked my friend to take some pictures of us. I wanted to post on my socials later.
Absolutely. You're a famous commentator now.
So are you. Thank you for having me.
No, I'm just here keeping the chair warm. These players are the ones that are really doing all the work. Off the rails in Bellevue for APA. Okay. I haven't been in Off the Rails yet, but I've been hearing good things about it. Might have to check that place out when I'm over there on the east side next time.
It's like right in the middle of Bellevue. It's crossroads, and there's a bunch of restaurants and stores and
Okay.
in the area. It's
Now,
fun.
have you been to Off the Rails?
Yes, I have. I played in a singles tournament about 2 months ago there.
Oh, okay. And do you play APA out of there?
I think it was an APA singles.
I mean,
Tournament?
your normal APA league. Where do you play out of, Vanny?
I play out of Temple.
Temple. That's right. I asked you that yesterday. Temple
okay.
Billiards in Seattle. Shout out to them.
They were APA occasionally have host tournaments, qualifying tournaments in Meekers and Auburn or Off the Rails in Bellevue.
Okay.
And that day I played both 8 and 9.
Good for you. It's always good to get out and experience other places and get in tournaments like that. It's really good for your development of your game, playing different players and putting yourself in competitive situations like that. Okay, so Chris Beverly here with this is the shot on the 15 that's going to get him the rack if he can successfully do it. And he's got it, but leaving some distance on the 8-ball. So it's definitely not over yet. But I like the way that this guy approaches the table. He seems very diligent and dedicated. He's looking at his lines and his angles. He's making sure he's set. He's not just, kind of running around and popping at balls or pulling the trigger too quick. He's being very methodical in his approach. And I think that that usually bodes well for players that do that. Just take that little extra time. And I don't mean overthinking stuff, but just making sure that you're committed and you know what your plan is. So here we go. 8-ball goes down, and Chris Beverly with a 2-1 lead.
Nice. Well, I probably should. I actually am heading
good-
back to Seattle today.
Okay.
Yeah, I got confirmation what time we're leaving, so
Okay.
I
Well,
should probably.
it's been
take
a
off.
pleasure
Yeah,
having
thank
you,
for having
Vanny.
me.
Yeah, thanks for coming to help commentate. I really appreciate it, and hope to see you again soon. If you ever get out to the West Sound area out in Kitsap County, hit me up. I'm on
Okay.
Facebook,
Sounds good.
and we'll play some pool.
Sounds great. Well, thank you. And
okay.
Thanks for having me. I just want to say a shout out to a couple teams before I leave.
Go for it.
Spice Mint. Good luck. My friends, the three Amigo.
Okay.
Challenge accepted. Be Joy, and Cap Hill. Those are the teams that I'm aware of. That
So B-Joy, is that B-Joy Baroli?
I think so.
Okay.
And then Cap Hill, I think, is another team. And Spice Mint is the gals that we commentated yesterday.
Oh, right.
Jerry and Margot.
Yeah. Okay.
And Three Amigo are my friends from Snohomish County.
Okay.
And Challenge accepted. I'm not really sure. I think they're East Side.
All right. So you've got a lot of teams in this that you're looking at. So a lot of fun. So yeah, again, thanks again
thank you so much
for helping out in the commentary.
Of course, yeah. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Okay. Safe drive.
Thank you.
All right. So Vanny's going to check out, and I'll be with you here through the remainder of this match. And Chris Ho. So Chris Beverly with a dry break, and Chris Ho now with the options to get going here. Thank you very much. And we got a lot of congestion in this rack. Looks like rearrange the furniture there a little bit. And so now Chris Beverly back to the table. After his dry break, he is stripes. I believe stripes. Yes. That's correct. I think the only shot that he's really got to go for is this difficult shot. It's a 13 cut on the 13 ball. And you're going to kind of lose the cue ball here. It's going to be hard to control the cue ball. You got to watch the scratch here. Scratch is definitely a possibility in the side pocket. Okay. Coming around it nicely. What match number is this between these teams? Oh, that is a good question. I don't have that information, Keon. And unfortunately, the way that our EvoSports system works is it's designed to be a 1 versus 1 player matchup live stream system. And so we don't really have the ability to change the scoreboard on it for APA teams, where we can kind of show the more of all of the scoreboard type of things that you might see, points and that type of thing. But I can certainly go over and ask them. They're only about 20 feet away from me. I'll try to find out for you. What match number is this between these teams? Yeah, I'll be right back. Go ask them. Okay, this is match number 9138. Match number 9138 between these teams. And I can also give you guys a link to the online bracket if you'd like. There's a link to the bracket online. It's in a Google Drive. Be able to see the bracket and what's going on. Dat Girl. This is the first match in a 5-4 race. And yes, Beverly is up 2-1. Correct. Okay, so what have we got going here? So I got to get back to watching this game. Kind of missed a little bit of the action there. I believe Chris Beverly has the stripes, and most of the balls, all of the balls are open for stripes. So he's got pockets for every ball. If he just stays in control of this rack, he does have the opportunity to run this out. He wants to stay on this 11 because the 11 ball is the hardest ball, and he definitely wants it now. And this is a pretty good angle because this angle will take the cue ball back up in this way so that he can take care of either that 15 ball, but he's also got the 14 as a hanger over in that pocket up in the top left corner. So that's kind of your insurance policy that in case you don't get shape that you want. Just focus all your attention on making this 11 ball. That's the key here. I like it. Good speed on that ball. Great shot. And so I like here, the pattern that I like here is probably, I'm going to play the 10 ball first into this pocket, and then from that position, I'm going to be playing the 14, and then I'm going to play the 15, and then the 8's going to go here. So that's my run out pattern that I like the best, because I think that the ball that sets you up on the 8 ball the easiest out of those three is the 15, which is what he's taking now. I personally believe that the 15 was the easiest ball to get yourself shape on the 8 at the end of the rack. The hardest ball to get shape on the 8 is this one, which is, it seems like the one that he is saving for last. Not to say that it's impossible. I just think it's a little bit more difficult to run this pattern this way. Whenever I'm looking at a pattern like that, you've got options on every ball. You want to just look at which ball gets you on the 8 the easiest. Okay. He's going to be jacked up a little bit over this 2 ball, so making this a little bit more challenging. Yeah, this is the hard part, is getting shape on the 8. The rest of the shots were fairly straightforward. This one's going to require some skill. Not that the others didn't require skill, but it's going to require more skill. He might have to just run into the 3 balls there. Yeah, I don't think he's holding that. If he tries to come around those balls, he's just not going to be able to hold the cue ball for the 8 like he wanted to. And now, here we go. Now you're stuck. And I think if he goes back and watches this over again, he's going to realize that the pattern would have been much easier to play that 15 last, 15 to the side last, because you could just literally roll up on the 8 ball. And the 14 was there to get you on the 15, to get you on the 8. So you always have to look at those succession of shots and really pick the best pattern so that you don't end up in this situation where you have only the 8 ball and no pocket for it to go in, and you're playing against a good player. Chris Ho right now is the heavy favorite to win this rack right now. Not to say that he's going to. I just say that he's the heavy favorite just based on the position of these balls. And I didn't see him mark any pocket here, so I believe he's just playing a safety shot. I'm going to try not to give up on anything too easy here. And I don't think he's going to like it. So Chris Ho looking to see if that 3 ball plays up table. I believe it does. He also has the potential to back cut the 7 ball into this pocket, which I think is what he's doing now. And from there, you're almost home free. So now I'm going to be looking at what ball gets you on the 8 ball the best? What's the easiest ball to set up on the 8 for? And then how do you get position on that ball? This one doesn't matter as much because the 8 ball has multiple pockets that it goes to. So it's not as critical on this scenario as it was on the last scenario for Chris Beverly. The 8 ball really only had 1 or 2 pockets that it would play to in that last scenario. So that's why it was more critical to play the right pattern. This layout has many options that work really well. He's going to slide down too far for the 3. And he might choose to take the 6 ball now instead of the 3 because of how far down he came on that. He doesn't like it. Don't blame him. Just got out of line here. But you know, the nerves are high. The adrenaline's pumping. You know, sometimes you just get a little extra into that cue ball when you don't mean to, when you're under pressure. And Chris going to try to use top and come off the bottom rail and back out. Watch the side pocket. Oh, he just narrowly avoids disaster with the side pocket. And this is going to work out really well. He got very good position on this 3 ball. Should lead him nice to a huge area there on the table where the 8 is simple to pocket right in the side pocket. Well played from Chris Ho. Getting out of his own trouble. He got into a little bit of trouble and then he used his skills to get himself out of trouble and works through that rack. And again, the pattern play from Chris Beverly cost him that rack. In 8 ball, you can be a much lesser skilled shooter, but better at picking your patterns and playing strategy play and win games. So 2-2 race. Chris Beverly needs to go to 4. Chris Ho needs to go to 5. Okay. A scorching break. see the 2 ball going in. Really good scatter on that break, but I believe that he's got solids on this break, unless he got one of each. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stripes, 7 stripes on the table. So he's got to take solids, and that's unfortunate for him because stripes definitely lays out much better. But in APA, you have to take whatever you make. So he's forced to take on a difficult 4-ball. He got penalized. Oh, yeah, see, he got penalized for breaking. He broke really well and got penalized for it because the solid went in and not the stripe. That's just unfortunate. Bad luck. That's all it is luck. I do prefer the open table on the break rule, personally. Okay, so Chris Beverly lining up on this 11 ball in the corner pocket. Coming rail first into it to get a little extra movement out of the cue ball to the side over to the middle of the table. And it dresses up nicely for the 9. And the problem here, and he's very well aware of it, is this 13 ball, right? Not to mention these 2 stripes down here are a big problem too. So stripes is no easy picnic. It's not a walk in the park here to get this done. Okay, now from here he can choose to take the 10 ball and try to push forward with the cue ball and send the cue ball down into these balls. But I think the better play here would probably be to play a shot where you play off of this ball and roll and have the cue ball carom into that 2 and pocket that ball and just play a safety right there. I like that play, but he's might be doing the 10 and just try to get something going here. It's just, I don't like that one because you're getting your balls off the table before you're getting your stuff out of trouble. And so you're going to run out of you're going to run out of ammunition for breakout balls to be able to improve position later in the game. So I would have much preferred in the situation that Stripes is in to improve position rather than reduce the number of balls that you have to shoot at. And now he might be taking this shot. Let's see what we've got here. He's aiming on a bank shot here on the 10 ball, I believe. Safety. Okay, so decent safety, but it doesn't improve anything. He's still left this ball as a problem, right? So if you're going to play a safety, you typically want to improve the position of your balls if you can. So Chris Ho with just kind of a quick shot on that 1 ball. I don't think he was really trying all that hard to make it. I don't think he really wanted to. He knows that he's got his opponent. He's got his opponent in a tough spot, right where he wants him. And so I think Chris Ho is recognizing that if Chris Beverly keeps pocketing balls, he's just going to get deeper and deeper into the hole that he's in, making it harder and harder for him to win the rack. And he's got to figure out these. Even if he figures out the problem balls down there that he's shooting at, he still has the 13 to deal with. So let's see what he does here. Okay. And still didn't improve position on that ball. It still doesn't really have a pocket to go to. So he just moved that ball up to this spot here, but it doesn't go to this pocket and it doesn't go to this pocket. So
come on up, take a look at it. It is Boomer's favorite red peach hour cue.
And I can guarantee that Chris Toe is not going to be taking that shot here. He will not be shooting this ball here. That's his ace in the hole right there. he can just try to pick the rack apart or play some cat and mouse. I mean, he's got full control over this rack right now. And solids is the heavy favorite here, the way that these balls are laid out, simply because there's more of them also. Dustin Mouton, be happy to talk to you. We offer custom pricing. So there is a setup fee for the EvoSports system and then a monthly subscription to have the system active. Hit me up on Messenger and we can discuss a custom pricing for you for EvoSports. Appreciate your interest. And is there a venue specific for where you are looking to have EvoSports installed? Okay, that's going to be a ball in hand foul. And so Chris Beverly, just knowing that he's in a really bad spot here, just trying to do whatever he can to get that 13 ball out of trouble. But again, even if he got his 13 ball out of trouble, he still doesn't have anything to do with this ball down here. There's nowhere for that to go unless you bank it somewhere. So he's still in a really bad spot. And Chris Ho can just either try to run the rack out, which I don't mind running these balls out because they all play to pockets. I'm starting with the 3 ball here. That's my first shot. Yep. And then the 7 ball is going to be the trickier one. The 7 ball is going to, I kind of actually like giving an angle on the 3 so that you come and nudge the 13 out of there. And yeah, just like that. Just like that. You nudge that 13 out of there. And then you open up that 7, and now everything is wide open. And I tell you what, I'm playing this ball last in the succession. This is the last one before the 8. That's your insurance ball. And it's a pretty easy ball to get you positioned on the 8 from pretty much anywhere on the table. And again, Chris Ho playing the strategic position game very well. Okay, Dustin. Well, I'll definitely hit you up. We'll set up a call and we can discuss it. Oh, no. That was unexpected. So I think he just got a little bit overzealous there and thinking about that. He's already thinking about shooting the 8 ball in the next 4 shots and took his eye off that 5 ball. Because that was a pretty standard shot, just didn't put the attention and focus into that shot as he had on the previous ones. We all do that, though. Not judging. Happens to the best of us. But he's still in a good spot here. He's still the heavy favorite to win this rack just because, again, the position of these balls makes it very, very difficult for Chris Beverly to get anything going here. He's going to have to pull off a miracle bank shot or something amazing here to get this going. I think he's going to try to play safety here, but I really don't like it. Yeah. See, and that shot should have been done about 15 turns ago. That exact same shot, taking that ball away from that corner pocket, that should have been done early in this rack. It would have really helped him out. So a good shot, but just a little bit late. And he is giving Chris the 6 ball, which he misses. So now the opportunity is there. More of an opportunity anyway for Chris Beverly. He's going to have to try to maybe follow this in. 13, follow in the 5. hit it full, as full in the face as you can, and try to follow that ball in. That's what I'm doing in that situation. But he's going for this 14 ball, or whatever ball it is down there on the rail. 12 ball, I guess. And this is a different, now it's a whole new ball game because you got another problem here. Chris Ho has put himself in a bad situation with missing on that 6 ball, as well as missing on the 5, his last 2 shots. And now, oh, here we go. 2 rails never fails. 2 rails never fails. Look at that. Chris Ho with a lucky 2 railer, getting the fluke shot and spinning that cue ball around to get the 8 in. So he missed a couple of shots, but got some good fortune to get himself back into this rack and looking to get on the hill here. Not quite on the hill. Not quite on the hill, I say. 3-2. And since it's a 4-5 race, it looks like we're in a straight up race to 2 now. That was an exciting match to watch. I think there was just definitely some strategy errors on Beverly's part and some shooting errors on Chris Ho's part, which he made up for with a bit of luck. So to get back to you, Dustin, in the chat, definitely want to have a chat with you. We'll talk about any establishments or home units that you might be interested in, be able to do a demo or anything that you need. I'll send you a message after this match is over. We can maybe schedule a time to talk. So huge break again from Chris Ho. And did anything go in? They're counting. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Looks like wait a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I only see 6 solids. Unless I'm missing something. Did a solid go in on the break? Oh, he scratched on the break. Okay, that's what happened here. So scratch on the break. It's still open. A solid down.
Yeah, so give me about 15 minutes.
Okay. I like this layout here for solids. I think that Chris Beverly has chosen very well with his first couple of shots here to get going with solids. I think he wants to figure out where he wants to be on this with this 5, what kind of position he wants on the 2 ball next. I think he wants to just roll forward a couple inches forward to get a nice little angle on the 2 ball. That works out. Just use that bottom rail. I think he has a little steeper of an angle than he was hoping for. Yeah, he's putting his finger. That's where he wanted to be. I know it too. That would have been the ideal spot, just a couple inches higher. So he has a little steeper angle than he was looking for, but from what I've seen, he's got the skills to make this work. Just got to get back into position. Well played, and I do believe that 1 plays by the 9. He's not looking at it yet, so maybe it doesn't. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. I had to take a little commentary break to talk to some people that came over to the booth here wanting their video of their match. So not sure what I missed exactly, but it looks like Chris Beverly was not able to complete the run out on solids from what I saw. And now he's in a pretty bad spot here with this 1 ball. Very difficult 2-rail kick to get to the 1. Yeah, very tough. Those balls were right in the way. So, tough shot.
Finally, I'd like to thank Margaret in the back with all of her wonderful art. She's got some custom art, and you can have stuff commissioned. Check out Margaret in the back by the streaming booth.
Okay. So Chris Ho, excuse me. Going to take care of that problem first. I always recommend that when you've got ball in hand, you want to take away your problems first if you can.
It is table 0, where you can go to beat the Merle. Merle is playing right now. He's been playing for quite a while. He could either be a good challenger, or you might easily get some tickets. Go see Beat the Merle.
Okay. And this is where you're really wishing that a jump cue was allowed. Okay, so what's he going to do here? He's just going to go ahead and pocket his 10 for him. Not a bad idea. Just, take away one of his easy balls. There's not much you could do there. Going to give up the ball in hand. And Chris Beverly knows that he's in a pretty bad spot here. There's really not a whole lot he can do. He's at the mercy of hoping that Chris Ho makes a mistake, like a shooting error, and misses a shot somehow. That's the only thing that he can really hope for. And sometimes that does happen.
Referee over there.
All right, I wrangled in a co-commentator. We've got Kelly in the booth with us. Welcome, Kelly.
Hi.
All right.
Thanks.
So we've got Chris Beverly and Chris Ho in a match here for teams, Cheer for Beer and Slated for Glory. And they've been battling back and forth. Both these players are quite skilled. But Chris Ho, who's at the table right now, it says Hung Ho because that's what's on the score sheet, but Chris Ho is what he goes by, as you can see on his jersey there.
He's a pretty good shot.
Have you played him before?
Yeah, at the challenge table over there.
Uh-huh.
And all of his teammates. We were having, but yeah, he shoots well.
Okay. I've been watching him, and he definitely does play quite good 8-ball. I really like his pattern play, and his strategy is good, and his execution is pretty good as well. And he's about to try to close out this rack, but leaving that cue ball on the rail is going to make that 8-ball a bit more difficult. I think he wanted to get a little bit more.
Like come off the rail a little bit.
Yeah.
Or softer.
Yeah, you want to be off that rail, making it easier on the 8-ball, but no problem
Not
for Chris
a problem.
Ho.
No, he shoots good.
Yeah, and he's got to go to 5, so he's not there yet, but he's on the hill. And he's got to go to 5, and Chris Beverly needs to go to 4. So still anybody's game. But these two they're fun to watch. They're both really good shooters.
I haven't watched Chris Beverly shoot yet. We'll see what he's got.
Yeah, he's a skill level 6. Now, where do you normally play out of, Kelly?
Actually, we are league operators over in Bend, Oregon for Central Oregon.
Okay.
And I still play in league there. And, we run the league.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, we've got some people in the chat from Southern Oregon that were chiming in. You know Dustin Mouton?
No.
Southern Oregon.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I met a lot of great players from the Bend area seem to be out here. I think you guys have a really good pool community out there.
We do. it's really, it's good to see so many of the players drive over the pass and come over here, and they're doing good. We're getting a lot of people placing, and uh, Ben Welpley got first in his division, which was the skill level 3 for 8 ball. But he's new in our league and pulled it off. So he keeps his
Awesome.
nerves together. That's good.
I bet he's excited about that.
Yes, he is.
And that's kind of the
I'm excited for him.
yeah, that's the great thing about APA is no matter what your skill level is, there's always, a way to really, you know, um, win something, accomplish something, no matter where you are on the skill set, whether you're a brand new player or a really experienced player, there's always other players that are within your same range that you can compete with. And especially when you come to events like this. So it's really great to get beginners out and playing new players that they haven't played before and just getting them to get more excited about the game.
Yeah, give them a little weight, so
Yeah.
that they can get their legs underneath of them. And
Right?
yeah,
Yeah.
and even though like some of these other leagues, which I've played in, and that they seem to, forget that the high level players have to get so many more games and
Hmm.
go to such a higher uh, ball count in 9 ball
Right?
that it's actually even tougher than a lot, some of these other leagues. So it's a good
Oh, for sure.
learning league, but it's also good for the upper end player also.
Oh, for sure. I can see how, you know, I've seen some of these matches where the 7 is playing the 3 and, the 3 has to go to 2 and the 7 has to go to 5. And that's tough. We saw
Yeah.
one earlier where the 7 scratched on the break and pocketed the 8 ball. And
Hmm.
so they lost the first game and they could, so then he had to win 5 straight. And that's hard to do against anybody.
Yes.
And so it puts the pressure on, which is what you want. Certainly, as a player, you want to play. You don't want it to be easy. You want to play under pressure. So,
You do.
and speaking of pressure here, Chris Beverly is under pressure because he's down on the scoreboard. His opponent
on
is
the hill,
on the
right?
hill, but
Yeah.
he's doing a great job of running this rack out. I think he's got a good pattern here going with the 10 to
Looks good.
and
Yeah.
then I believe the 14 goes
It's,
right to the side after that as his next ball. So he wants to set up kind of flat on that.
yep.
And here's the challenge here. I think he wants to either catch the cue ball in this window here for the 10 or, yeah, that's what he's looking for. So he wants to be right in this window, and if you go
Either
to,
that to draw the ball back slightly.
that's not a bad idea, Kelly. I kind of like that too because it just maybe makes that a little, but he would have to jack up for the draw shot because he is
Yeah, it
on the
looks like
rail.
he's going to follow.
Yeah, this is touchy. I can see rolling this too far really easily.
Yeah. Oh, but he
Yeah, he got
he
there.
did okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could, so many times we try to roll forward for position and it goes 2 inches too
Mhm.
far or 3 inches too far. It's just really hard to stop the cue ball at a specific
Well, that was a
spot.
good
But
shot.
it was an excellent shot. That was a game-winning shot.
But you called it.
Yeah, I mean that
You
was.
could tell with, like you say, how high he was
Mhm.
aiming at the cue ball.
Yeah, I think that
That was a good rack.
very good run out, and yeah, I think that where that cue ball was on the rail over here, it was just so close to the rail. The draw shot, he would have had to really jack up on it, and that would have been, you risk missing the shot there.
So he'll be on the hill after this, right?
They're both on the hill.
That's good.
Yeah, hill action. So
That's great.
yeah, this is great action. I've really enjoyed watching this match between these two players. They're certainly really close in skill set. I think they're both accurately rated. I wouldn't say one or the other is under or overrated at this
That
point.
was a good run out.
It really was.
Yeah, he did a good job.
Yeah. And, he had a couple opportunities earlier in the game where, I in my opinion, I think he kind of chose a pattern that was a little bit more difficult. And so he ended up getting stuck on the 8 ball. And he ended up losing that rack because he wasn't able to get shape on the 8
I
at
see.
the end of his run out. And when you get down to the 8 ball and your opponent still has 7 balls on the table and you're on the 8, if you don't get shape on the 8, you're probably not going to win that rack against a good player. they're just never going to let you see. You're not going to see daylight
That's
ever,
right.
for the rest of that rack, and that's what happened. And so I think, that was one that he definitely could have won. But we always say that in all of our matches that we either when we win or lose, we always say, well, there's, I would have if I could have just done this different or.
Mhm.
But that's the nice thing about this live stream is that they get to watch this back and hopefully listen to my commentary. I'm not the best pool player in the world, but see a different perspective on
So do you play in
things.
APA?
I am not
Or
an APA
BCA?
player. Yeah, I'm a BCA player.
Uh-huh.
And
So what's your Fargo?
I'm a 580.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's not too
so
bad.
I
Yeah,
think
good
I
for
would
you.
be. Yeah, I guess I would be a 7 in APA probably
Hmm.
for 8 ball. And um,
Yeah.
watching Chris Ho play, I'd say that I would probably match up pretty similar to him.
Hmm.
But either of these players would probably give me a good challenge, I think. And it's always easier. I always say it's always easier from the booth, to have a different perspective because
True.
we don't ever miss any shots from here, do we, Kelly?
No, never.
you know, my brother-in-law is a cue maker, and I said, if you could make me like a 20-foot cue, that would be great because I never miss. I never miss from over here. It's just
Oh, that's funny.
yeah. So is that? Are we waiting on something here?
I don't know. Maybe they took a break. Maybe somebody.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that it is Hill.
Yeah, because they
But
racked him.
yeah, they racked him, and then yeah,
Somebody's probably just taking a little break.
yeah. I don't see either of
Hello.
the players over there.
This year, remember last year I played you? I was like, man, she really kicked my ass good.
It's good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Yeah.
I'm having so much fun.
So we're just gonna wait while the players are on break here.
All right.
Maybe we'll tell you some APA stories. What's going on here? So what do we have coming up here? So this is my first APA event that I've ever
Okay.
attended. So
Well, I'm not sure that all the schedule. Well, tonight. Okay. There's some quirky little things like the tournament of the gods, which
Uh-huh.
is tomorrow night.
okay,
And it's more of a playful tournament, and they dress up in costume, and they might
Oh.
say, okay, you have to shoot with the back end of your pool stick, or you have to
Ah.
twerk while you're doing just different things.
That sounds
or you
fun.
have to trade balls, like trade sides
okay,
and different things. So that's kind of fun. And then the open tournament happens. So not only APA players, but upper end pool players will be here on Saturday and finish out on Sunday.
okay.
So anybody,
Anybody, even non-APA players? So even
that's
I
correct.
could play in the
Yeah,
open.
you got like Stan Trango, Dan Louie,
Oh.
upper end players. You
Oh,
know,
maybe I'll jump into that.
You
and see
should.
if, yeah,
yeah,
because this EvoSports that I'm doing is it's a player-run live stream system. I don't actually have to be doing anything. The players are doing all of the start and the stopping of
Right.
the stream, and they're keeping score. So
Huh.
okay, so let's get back to the game
Okay,
here.
there
We've
you
got
go.
Chris Beverly to break. He's going with the second ball break here. Going to try to get that cue ball off the side rail and smack it back into the rack again and get that good scatter like we'd like to see. He actually hit the head ball first, not the second ball. And I see a lot of players in APA do break from the side because I think that there's an advantage to that because you can get the 8 ball moving, right? And in APA, if you pocket the 8 on the break, it's a win.
It
So
is
probably
a good idea.
yeah.
Try to get the 8.
I notice when I do that second ball side break, I do pocket the 8 ball every once in a while. When I do the head ball break, it hardly ever moves at all, And so that was a dry break from Chris Beverly. And Chris Ho getting the option here to get started. Starts with solids. And
He's a pretty strong player.
what kind of problems do we see here
Well,
with
just
solids?
this group
Yeah, this
right here.
Yeah, especially this 4 ball, right? This 4 and
That's
15,
right.
that looks like the biggest problem. He's got to
He'll probably
find a
try
way.
to break it out as quick as possible.
He did try there,
Uh-huh.
just missing the 1 ball. I think that it was his intent was to maybe try to loosen up some things in that stack. But Not a bad miss,
No,
being that
not.
you just
It's
left it right
still. It's
there.
still pretty crowded in that corner there.
Now, Kelly, what's your APA rating?
I'm a 5 in both 8 and 9.
Okay.
I've been briefly a 6 in both.
All right.
Yes. But I didn't get started till I was 50 years old.
Okay. A late
And I'm in
bloomer.
my mid 60s. Yeah, mid 60s now. So, you know, I'm catching up.
All right. So, what got you hooked on pool?
Well, empty nest syndrome. The
Ah.
kids off to college, and I didn't want to be one to sit around and do nothing. So I got into pool. And then I got a pool, a nice diamond pool table in my living room.
Oh, lucky you.
And, you know, giving it my best.
That's great.
Uh-huh.
We all have our stories of, like what got us hooked on it because we're all addicts here. I always say, like,
Yes.
every one of us in this room, we are addicts. We are hooked on this game. And
I
that's
love
why,
it.
it's sunny. We're at the beach, but we're all inside because we love the game so much,
Yes.
right? Okay. So Chris Ho now with an opportunity, it looks like on the 3 ball to take care of that issue. And he's really wants to figure out how he's going to attack the breakout here. And I think he has an opportunity, well, either off of the 1 ball or he could potentially do it with this 5 ball here.
He might just leave it for
Yeah.
well, that's
He
Chris
might.
right now. Yeah.
They're both Chris.
Yeah.
Chris Ho and Chris
Chris.
Beverly. But
Yeah.
I don't know that he would want to really leave it because, he's got to deal with it eventually. And you don't want to give your opponent the chance to really turn the table over to him. But in this
He doesn't
situation
see
now,
a good.
he didn't get good. He's
No.
blocked. He's blocked by the 8 ball. He cannot even hit this ball
No.
here. And I don't even know if he has the 2 ball. Honestly, he might have that 2 ball, but it looks like it's really close. And
Mhm.
even if he did, he's not going to be probably happy with what he's getting for a leave. So, yeah, might just have to bail out here. I think he might thin off the side of this 2 ball and try to play a safety.
I
Thin
think
off the
so.
side of it
Mhm.
and bring the 2 ball off the rail and back. I think that's really all just take your medicine. You messed up your leave and just make the best of it here.
Mhm.
So, in this position, I like removing that 1. If I'm stripes, I'm taking this and I don't want it pocketed. I just want to leave that 13 ball. I want to own that real estate right there to that pocket. Because that's valuable real estate considering the cluster is right here. If you have a ball that's sitting here, you have a breakout
You
chance,
do.
right? So that's valuable real estate. I want to own that spot. It's like Boardwalk and Park Place on Monopoly, but just playing a safety there, it looks like.
Yep.
Not really interested in really doing too much, but I think this combo might be on. It sure is. So, but of course, what happens when you break out a ball? It ties up to another one.
Yeah, it did. But he can possibly get on the right side there and maybe spin that in.
Yeah, I do think you're right. I think he could probably play this with some spin and try to come into this
Mhm.
ball somehow. It's just unpredictable as to really what he's going to end up with afterwards. If he runs full into it, I think honestly, yeah. Now he's got the 2 ball up there, but now he doesn't have shape on that either. So I think
He's going to bank it, maybe.
yeah, this is really bad news for Chris Ho because he's going to be opening up the door for Chris Beverly if this ball doesn't find a pocket. And it doesn't.
Oh.
Everything is pretty open here.
It's kind of scary.
Yeah, I like to start with the 9 here. I like getting that 9
Yeah,
out of the way
get that one
first.
out of the
It
way
really
first.
looks like it only has that 1 pocket to go to. I'm taking it there first. And I do believe that this ball has a full pocket here, so you're good on that one. And everything else has a home.
It does.
It's just stay in position, stay in shape, and you can win this match right here.
You're right. He's going to try that on, I think.
Yeah, looks like he agrees with that. I don't think you're ever going to get a better position on the 9 than what you have right now. Oh, coaching. Oh, no, this is his opponent. Oh, he wants to see, and maybe
Well, he
he
doesn't
wants to
want
call
him-
a ref.
Yes.
He wants to see what it looks like and decide if he wants to call a ref. And
Yeah.
It's, yeah.
Is he calling the ref?
No, he's not.
No.
He just had to make sure. This is interesting. Doesn't look like he's hitting it to the corner here.
I don't think he's trying the side.
I can't imagine the side pocket would be
No.
the shot. I don't know.
No,
Oh, maybe he's
he's
just
lining
aiming.
up.
Yeah, okay.
He's lining up.
He had us fooled. There's
It's
no
just-
way that he's going for the side
Yeah,
pocket
no.
here. But this is an important shot. That's
He
gonna
did it.
make
Good
it.
for him.
Yeah, right in the pocket. Now he's not out of the woods just yet, though, is he? Because
Well,
he's got this ball down here,
maybe
but
he's going to go for the corner first.
he's got this ball down here, but he's got to shoot on the top of treetop over the 8 ball, and I just hate that. All kinds of funny things can happen when you're shooting over the top of a ball. You could miscue, and
I was wondering if he could get this one.
yeah, he does have that ball. It's just a little bit more distance and cut. So
Mhm.
I think he wants to try to make the rack all short shots.
Yes, I think so.
I don't blame him. That wasn't a difficult shot,
No.
really. And so I like this one
That's
here.
it,
Obviously, it's going to go here in the corner and then set up for this one in the side. I believe those are his next two. And if he can just stay in control of this. Now, he is really flat on this, whatever ball this is down here. He's pretty flat on it, so he doesn't have an angle to where he can really get the cue ball off the rail very much. So he's going to be taking that 11 ball
All right, a couple of
from,
reminders. If have
probably
a
from like this position here. He's probably going to be shooting the 11, and that's just all you have.
split, and you still
The
have
last
that
thing you want to do is to try to make something happen that isn't there. Just
That's right.
We need those
the way to say,
clipboards
take
for
your
side
medicine,
tables for the
right?
next round.
Just
So please give that clipboard over to your local referee, and they will be ecstatic to receive that from you. Or if you're close, just bring it up front.
it's going to go rail first, I think.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah, rail first, just to get off the rail a little bit more.
It was a good shot.
It was. He put a little more pace on that than you think he needed to.
Please do that.
Now he's got he's on the wrong side of the 11, right? He's on the wrong side of the 11 because he's going to be going away from his other two balls instead of towards them, making it a little more difficult, but it's still manageable for him. I like the diligence
He's
and
not
the
lining up
focus.
for a bank, is he?
No, I'm sure not. I'm sure he's not.
No.
Yeah. But I like the diligent approach that Chris Beverly has. He's really super focused and really taking his time. He is going for the bank. Okay, that surprised me.
Me too.
Yeah, I kind of thought that
I thought he would cut that in the side.
cut that in the side, but I think he was concerned that he was going to be a little too far away from his next shot, maybe. He was playing for the bank to get better position on the next ball, which I understand, but now he's given Chris Ho an opportunity to steal this rack with a really good shot on the 4 ball down the rail here. But Chris has to put on a good shot here,
He does.
and he's got to avoid some.
But he can do it.
Yeah,
He
he
knows how to
can.
run that up the rail. Oh, no.
Oh,
my
no.
goodness.
Oh
He
my
did
gosh,
him.
that was almost absolute disaster. Almost disaster. Yes, he did get corner hooked. He did get corner hooked, Kelly. Almost corner hooked. That's okay. We call it corner hooked on the live
Corner-
stream. That's okay. We all say it. So
Actually,
But-
he
but
was
Chris
lucky he
Beverly-
didn't scratch there.
he's very lucky he didn't scratch. Very lucky. And Chris Beverly's very lucky that he's back to the table at all, though.
Yeah.
Honestly. What a shot
That
from
was good.
Beverly. Wow. Okay.
Now it's a little bit hard run out here.
Yes, nothing's easy now. He had his opportunity for the easy run out and he didn't make it. Now he's got to make it. Everything's going to be whenever you have a pretty easy run out and you don't make it, then everything's hard from there on out almost always. So he's got to make the hard shots now, which he just made one of them an
What
extremely
would you do here?
Oh, I'm just going to cut this 12 nice and slow,
Into
as
the
slow as I
side?
can into the side.
And I'm just worried that'll hit.
It might. It's hard to say, gosh, if he doesn't have that side pocket, I don't know what he's going to do. Because
That's the shot, though.
if he can play it to the side, but even then, if he does, I don't know what he's going to have on the 11 afterwards. So this is really tough. Yeah, he didn't have anything.
No.
Yeah, he didn't have a shot on it.
He
That's
didn't.
why he was just trying to play safe and come behind that 4 ball. But so a couple of unusual turnovers in this hill rack. And, the pressure of being in a hill situation does funny things to you.
It
Sometimes,
does.
how you just play perfect the whole match, and then you get on that, in that last couple of shots and that last rack.
You get a
and
little excited.
Yeah, you start thinking about the finish line and closing out the rack. And
That was a nice shot.
yeah, good slow shot there. Almost got in trouble getting behind the 12, but didn't. Marks his pocket, the bottom right corner. And Chris Ho to try to take this one down. Down
Nicely
it goes.
done.
Well played. So
Yeah.
great match. That was very
That
entertaining to
was.
watch and commentate. So thank you, Kelly, for joining me in the booth.
Well, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, more fun than just kind of sitting over there waiting for a challenge match, right?
Oh, I enjoy that too.
Well, you got to mix it up every now and again. So we're going to end this stream now, and they're going to start another one with the next singles match that's coming up in just a few moments. So hang out on the YouTube channel, EvoSports Streaming, and we got action coming all day long. So we'll see you guys soon.
All right. You have a great time.
Thanks.